Okay, so there is some developing YouTube drama between Andrew Tate and Ethan Klein. Now, I'm not here to take sides. I mean, it's not a great look taking either side in this one. I mean, which side do you pick? The alleged human trafficker or the confirmed cretin? Now, I hear some of you screaming at the screen. The cretin, never the alleged human trafficker. Ah, would that it were so simple. For I'm sure that some of you have noticed in my introduction here, I have used the word alleged. I can say that because it is alleged. It is a fact that people have alleged that Andrew Tate is involved in human trafficking, which is very different to what our cretinous friend here did. I can call him cretinous. It's an opinion. It's an adjective. You can neither prove or disprove it. Let's take a look at what Ethan Klein had to say about Andrew Tate when he was talking to Tim Dillon on his podcast.
Andrew Tate, I want to talk to you about.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Is he did they ban him on everything?
He's banned on everything. I know you didn't love that. I love it.
I'll just stop it there so that you can hear very clearly that Ethan Klein says he loves that Andrew Tate has been banned off social media.
Is he that crazy that you would ban him?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, I have clips because I wanted to persuade you.
Okay.
You don't need to agree with me.
For sure.
In my opinion.
I'm always reluctant to ban anyone.
Right.
Because, yeah.
Anyway, Ethan Klein uses a couple of clips here to try and convince Tim Dillon that Andrew Tate is the worst person in the world. The clips aren't that convincing. They're a bit odd. Yeah, he's sort of being a macho, top G kind of guy, like he always is. Being a bit of a dick, saying some stupid stuff, but nothing really that sounds like we should get banned for it. To be clear, I've heard him say way worse stuff. He's just talking about what he would do if a woman came at him with a machete. Just kind of stupid and childish. But the point is, anyway, Ethan Klein basically was celebrating the fact that Andrew Tate got banned off social media. Tim Dillon's kind of saying, well, I don't think he should be. And then there's the debate about whether the KKK or ISIS should be allowed to have TikTok channels and stuff like that. It was a bit stupid. And as you'll see later in the video, Ethan Klein is just a living contradiction. He can never be consistent with a message. He flips and flops and it's just a mess. But here is the important thing. This is why Ethan Klein is going to get sued.
The people who have been truly deplatformed kind of deserved it.
For any of you that know Ethan Klein from years ago, this is just absolutely bizarre to hear that he's turned into a sort of pro-censorship guy. That's not why he's getting sued. We'll get back into the video. But I just thought I'd say that because I was a massive, massive fan of Ethan Klein years ago and of H3, and I used to watch all his reaction videos. That was my favorite thing. Then the podcast, I was a big fan of the podcast as well for a while, and they had some interesting guests on, and I kind of liked the sort of laid back attitude. My interpretation is, and I could be completely wrong, but the last 2 years have affected people quite a lot psychologically. I mean, to me, it's kind of turned me completely away from the mainstream narrative. I'm very suspicious of everything the government says now. I become very anti-mainstream media, and it feels like that same pressure made a lot of people sort of conform. Ethan Klein was never a conformist. His reaction videos to me were revolutionary. He had this, to me at least, amazing ability to look at things in pop culture and just sort of flip everyone's perception of them. And he was a very passionate defender of free speech and artistic expression, I thought. But anyway, that's nothing to do with why he's getting sued. So,
And again, I'm not saying he should be like a senator.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead, Ela.
If you take into context also that he's done sex trafficking.
Notice Ela said, he's done sex trafficking.
Does it change your opinion?
Well, listen, 100% if he's doing sex trafficking, well, then that's...
He is.
Oh, Tim Dillon playing it cautious, yes, of course. Well, if he's doing sex trafficking, no, they reiterate, he is.
Listen, what he's doing, if it's human trafficking, 100%, that's
There's
it.
no if.
That's it.
He's done
I
it.
know nothing about that.
Yeah.
No ifs. He's a sex trafficker. So I guess you can see where this is going. You can't keep accusing somebody of criminal activity if they haven't been convicted. You have to put a little disclaimer in there, a little bit of nuance. Allegedly. So they say he's being investigated for. And so then the other day, Ethan Klein, in his infinite wisdom, took to Twitter and posted this. Now, I'm no legal expert, and I'm not even saying that he's wrong, but added to the sex trafficking violent misogynist, he's now added the R word. So what appears to have happened is that Andrew Tate has sent a cease and desist warning to Ethan Klein's
He
lawyers.
sent me a cease and desist.
I saw.
And he sent our lawyers a cease and desist demanding within 24 hours we remove all content talking about him and all my tweets and not mention him anymore.
You know, your 2-time victory now.
Yep.
In the online legal space.
That's true.
So I think that's why he came after you, because he's like, I got to go after the top G of being sued.
I'll be honest, Andrew. I'm way out of your league on that one.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like...
I'm not much of a fighter, but when it comes to lawsuits, I'm fucking yeehaw, baby.
Yeah, I'm no legal expert, but I do know that libel law in the US and the UK is very different. In the UK, the onus is very much on the accuser to provide evidence for what they've said. So you've got to be very careful. If you mess with someone who's particularly litigious in the UK, you accuse them of something, you could be in big trouble. Whereas in America, they do tend to champion free speech a lot more. The onus is on the accused to disprove what the accuser is saying, in theory. I have read up just a little bit, though, on libel laws in the US, and there are a few exceptions to that. If it can be proved that the accuser had malice, that they had malicious intentions by saying what they said about you, or that they showed reckless disregard for whether what they were saying was true or not, you could be in a bit of trouble. And I get the feeling that Andrew Tate, who has a lot of money, might just have good enough lawyers to prove that kind of thing.
He keeps saying I'm a bisexual Armenian genocide denier. So
so you could probably sue him. I don't know, but you could probably send him a warning telling him to be careful about not calling you a genocide denier in the future. What are you proving there?
He's like, I'm not a human trafficker. I was like, Google Andrew Tate human trafficker and then tell a judge that I defamed you.
Once again, I'm not sure what he's not understanding here. Yes, of course, there are accusations of human trafficking, and you are allowed to say there are accusations that allegedly, that he's been investigated. You just can't call him a human trafficker again and again and again. Plus the other thing that you called him, which I'm probably not allowed to say. And then when challenged, when people say, well, if that's the case, you're saying, no, there is no if about it. You're confirming it, you're reiterating it, and you're doubling down on it. That is stupid. It is defamation, and you could be in trouble. Again, as I say, I'm not a legal expert, so, take it for what it is. But the other 2 times that Ethan and Hila have been sued, it doesn't feel like it's the same level of accusation. The first time was another YouTuber who was basically suing them because he didn't like a reaction video that they made about him and decided to sue them for copyright, saying that they had used his content without his consent. Then they were sued again earlier this year, I think it was, by a company called Triller for showing clips of the Ben Askren Jake Paul fight on the podcast, and it was a week after the podcast, and they sued them for $50 million. It was ridiculous. It was very petty. Both of those times that they were sued were people being extremely petty about them using their content. Again, I don't know if you can tell I'm not a lawyer, but as a layman at least, it seems very different, doesn't it?
Also, if there's an ongoing investigation,
exactly.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? There's an ongoing court case. Exactly. Innocent until proven guilty. No.
That would be a really interesting court case, though, because, don't you have to seal stuff? I mean, don't you have to unseal certain documents, or at least in discovery, a lot of interesting things would be brought to light.
Okay, so if there are any lawyers or legal experts or just people who are smarter than me, let me know in the comments if I'm getting this right. But I think what they're referring to there is if you unseal sealed documents. And I believe that sealed court documents are things that are not made available to the public for whatever reason. Obviously, that is a very different and very serious crime. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about defamation. We're talking about you accusing somebody of crimes for which they have not been convicted repeatedly.
This man contradicts himself on the regular. It's not surprising to me that he went from it's free speech. It's time for free speech. We need to do free speech. And then turn around and goes, not like that. Not like the way you're doing it. I don't like the way you're doing the free speech.
I'm not sure how many people who defend a free speech defend the idea that you can go around screaming sex offender at people. I don't like someone I can just turn up at their place of work and scream, sex trafficker! Obviously there is a limit somewhere. I, generally speaking, believe in free speech, yeah, but I don't know, if somebody was doing that to me, I think I'd want them to stop.
His fans will say, oh, well, free speech doesn't protect you lying about people.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't lying, bro.
Well, you've got nothing to worry about then, Ethan. All you need to do is give us all your evidence. Now, I'm sure a lot of people watching this video probably think that this is a defense of Andrew Tate, and it's not. It really isn't. But whatever. If you think that, that's great. Point is...
Shut the fuck